I wasn't going to release this video or this soap because when I first started out my business, and it's still on the website, I called soap the great equalizer, and I believe that's true. We all come from different walks in life, and we all have different, political ideas or, cultural influences or whatever. But at the end of the day, we all need to get clean. And so, equalizer, equalizing, not divisive. And I don't want to be divisive. And so I thought about what that might mean, really releasing this soap. And I did not want to, really start a thing. But I don't think that this is a divisive subject in and of itself. And so ultimately, on election day, because I celebrate every other holiday, I thought we should celebrate this one too, because it's a pretty big one in the United States. And so we are going to, do that and talk about the bar that I'm making today in just a minute. But before I do, hello, I am Mrs. Soap and Clay. Let's make stuff. How's it going, sudsers? Welcome back to the channel. You are at Soap and Clay, where we make all of the soapy things. And today is day 215, and it is also election day in the United States. And I am a very political person. I am a humanist, first and foremost, in everything that I do, and that sort of guides my life, for good or for ill. And yeah, again, I was not going to release this soap. I was not going to release this footage. I did it more for me, but it's just sort of habit to whenever I'm making a new thing to film these days. And I actually made this soap a few days after the death of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, because her death hit me hard, because she's so inspirational to women and has done so many things for so many groups that either I am a part of or I have loved ones who are a part of a disenfranchised group, and I miss her and the impact that she has had on our governing world is huge, and it cannot be overstated how huge that is. And so, as part of my healing process, I wanted to make something to sort of commemorate her, and so that's what I did today. And I found it fitting to release this on election day because ultimately, the three different branches of, our governing structure, the Supreme Court, they exist in a branch that actually shouldn't be impacted by an election. And I thought this was fitting to release this soap on election day without going, hey, this side or this side, just proper governmental structure side. How about that? And so that's what we're doing today. And I will tell you more about, the pour and the bar and the technique, as well as, RBG and why she's amazing in the video. So let's go do the thing and we can do some chit-chatting there. So this one is going to be such a hard one to get through without crying. It's probably not going to happen because RBG is incredible, and it's a huge loss, really, that we're all experiencing, because it's It's RBG. She has done so many things for equality in her life. I mean, she spent her whole life fighting for equality because she believed that women are as important as men, or that gender should not, whatever gender that may be, should not hold you back from the things that you want to do. And she's inspiring. I mean, she is. My mother and my grandmother are so much like RBG, and I was raised by women of a similar caliber, and the strength that they had, and yes, RBG was incredibly inspiring for everyone. Honestly, it's not just a female thing. I think she inspired us all and challenged us all to think outside of the constraints that maybe we live in and work toward a change that makes everyone, equal. And equality is a very good thing. For this bar, this is like a lace top technique. I had seen this from Auntie Clara like years and years and years ago, and I thought like the soaps that she does with the lace top, just so stunning and beautiful, but I had never had an opportunity to try it, right? And so, but then, when RBG died, immediately this came to mind, and I went, I want to do this. And I was originally doing this for my own healing, for my own therapy throughout all of it, because we all express ourselves in different ways, and I find that my mind clears and I heal the most when I am making soap. And so this was not something that I was even going to release. This was literally just for me. But because it's election day, and because we've lived in such a weirdly divisive time, I wanted to do this because RBG, I wanted to do this for election day because RBG, again, Supreme Court, the branch that the Supreme Court exists in, it should not be impacted by an election, and unfortunately it is, and it always has been, no matter what side you're on. And RBG, yeah, she would dissent, but she would do it in such a way that she didn't fight. You don't have to be unkind. You don't have to be divisive to speak your mind and to fight for the things that, matter. And I love that. That's why I believe that she's inspiring for all. And anyway, for the pour of this, the scent blend is leather and lace, because leather, like leather-bound books, law books, and lace. But I didn't exactly know what lace should smell like, so I made it smell like roses and violets, because that reminds me of my grandmother. And so, RBG reminds me of my grandmother. Very similar people, very similar strengths. And so this bar is a bit of a double whammy for me as far as emotions go, because Ruth Bader Ginsburg, my grandmother, I miss them both in different ways. And the pour itself, Auntie Clara had done a tutorial on her website involving creating a silicone mat for the pouring of the lace. And essentially you can use lace itself and create your silicone mat. But also I found these vinyl placemats in lace, and so they actually have the ridges. And so that's what I'm doing for this one. I'm pouring onto the vinyl placemats themselves. And I also did another round with the silicone mat that I created using the same vinyl placemat. And doing the silicone thing, it's very easy. I'm sure you've created a silicone something in your life. It's mix part A and part B and pour it over the thing that you want to make a cast out of, and do the thing. And so that's what I did for the second round with this. But for this one, I wanted to see what it would look like if you just use the vinyl mat. Like, is the silicone really necessary? Because I'm thinking it's not. And so, but you know, Auntie Clara is never wrong. So there's probably a reason why she didn't just pour onto lace, or, you know, find a vinyl placemat and that has a lace pattern and pour onto that like what I'm doing. So I'm just experimenting with this at this point, really. And it's a fairly simple pour, right? It's but again, I think it's very striking and perfect for RBG because, you know, her black robes and her lace collar and all of the things. And for all the bars that I really love, I always put a quote on the top of them. And this is, I guess, the bottom of the bar because it's a slab mold and they all get cut into different pieces or whatever. But one of my favorite quotes from Ruth Bader Ginsburg is fight for the things that you care about, but do it in a way that will lead others to join you. And so that's what I'm writing on the top of this bar as I'm crying, because at this point the floodgates are open during this pour and I am allowing myself to feel and to be thankful for everything that, you know, RBG has done for all of us. It's not just a women's thing. It's the things she has done for marriage equality, for gender equality, for trans rights, for all of it, and helped, you know, step us one small step at a time into a society that makes sense for all of us and not just for a select percentage or a certain group. And that's, you know, beautiful. So day 2 and on to the cut. I love that. The quote showed up really nicely. And again, you don't know that it's there because these all get cut into bars, and so you just get a piece of it. But I know it's there, and that's the important part. And pulling back this vinyl, the lace is not doing what I want it to do here. It's not lacy enough really for this round, and that's super unfortunate, and that's not cool. But we have something in store for this bar tomorrow, which is a really cool technique that we will be discussing tomorrow to still get the awesome lace onto this loaf, and that's awesome. Now, again, I said that I had made the 2 different versions of this. So I did this with just the vinyl placemat, and then I did go ahead and also create a bar, or a silicone mat that I poured onto. And so sort of exact same thing with the leather and the lace blend, so the leather and then the rose and the violet, and I poured onto the silicone mat for this one. And let's peel this back and see what we are working with for that. And oh yeah, that's perfect. That's the bar, and that's the mat, and it's cool. I can reuse that whenever I feel the need to make another lace top soap. And honestly, it was very cool to be able to do this pour. It's something that I've seen from Auntie Clara and gorgeous soaps that she does. I love the simplicity of her designs. They're stunning. And I am glad that I had an opportunity to do this. I guess the opportunity being the death of Ruth Bader Ginsburg it's not happy, but it was a fun pour. I like it, and it creates a very stunning bar. And yeah, so I would say the silicone mold is definitely the mat. It's definitely going to be a necessity because I guess you're creating a cast of the negative instead of the, and that makes sense. So again, for these bars, they are going to be, that's tomorrow's video. We're going to be doing a brush embroidery technique for these bars to get them all laced up. So there's more of the RBG bars essentially, just with a different technique. You can do lace in a couple of ways, and that's awesome. And this again, you notice I'm having a hard time getting through this video, right? Because again, I don't want to be divisive. I don't like division. I don't like where our country has gone in the last decade or so. I don't like the fights. And and it's election day, and this has been the longest election cycle in my adult life. I'm exhausted by the end of it, and my heart hurts by the end of it. And 2020 has just made everybody's heart hurt as well. And I'm having a hard time talking about this because I don't want to be divisive. And I guess I shouldn't be. So there's been a quote that's been running around since RBG died. It's a very stunning visual. It's her with her silhouette of her with her lace collar, and it says, the quote says, "Speak your mind, even if your voice shakes." And that's not her. That's not her quote. It's actually Maggie Kuhn's quote, but it's a beautiful representation of exactly what she did, stepping into a quote-unquote man's field and helping change the game for so many generations of people after her. And that's scary. That's scary. And talking about the things that you stand for and what's important to you, also scary. But you should speak your mind. And so, at the end of all of this, my mind is, we need to heal our country, and we need to do what's right for, the United States. And I hope at the end of today we will have done so. And that is gorgeous. That is so stunning. So, whether or not that happens, it's an election day that is about to be over, and it's an election day that does not contain Ruth Bader Ginsburg in our landscape, and that's super sad. But these bars are super beautiful, and I was happy to have done them, and I love them and think it's such a beautiful tribute to her and everything that she was, will always be remembered for. And that is day 215. It is election day in the United States, and if you have not done so, go vote. Go find your polling place and use your voice, because your vote matters, and it's a very big honor and privilege to be able to do that and vote in your elections. And so, yeah, that's as political as I'm going to get with all of this. Go vote and be nice to your fellow humans. So as I was pouring this bar, I thought about my grandmother and my mother, two very strong women who have always, instilled in me strength and determination and perseverance, and not being afraid to speak my mind or, follow my dreams and work hard to, do the things that I want to do in life. And RBG quotes were thrown around quite a bit, and her legacy will always live on within my family, will always live on within me. And so I love this bar, and it helped me heal. It helped the pain go away and the eventual floodgates open, because I wasn't really allowing myself to process it. And this pour and this bar did that for me. And so do that. It's awesome. And yeah, that's the thing for the RBG soap. To the rest of it, it's election day. If you live in the United States, go vote. Go do your thing. You have this awesome right and privilege as an American citizen to vote in your elections, and that is a duty and an honor, and go exercise that right. For me, I have done so, and so yay, awesome. And I am done for today. Thank you guys all for joining me for another round of 365 days of soap. As always, I appreciate you. I will see you guys all again tomorrow. Bye.